The Young and the Restless Spoilers Phyllis's Journey to the Truth. Phyllis sat alone in the dimly lit room, fragments of her memory flickering like a broken reel of film. Ever since the accident, she'd been haunted by the blurry image of the car that had barreled toward her. The metallic crunch, the screeching tires, and the overwhelming fear. It all played in a relentless loop in her mind. But now, pieces of the puzzle were beginning to fall into place. The car that had hit her wasn't black, as everyone had assumed. It was white. And the driver wasn't Sharon. It was a shocking realization, one that set Phyllis on a collision course with the truth. Sharon, despite her strained relationship with Phyllis, had been unjustly accused and thrown into jail. For weeks, she had pleaded her innocence, claiming she wasn't responsible for the accident. Yet no one believed her. The evidence was damning. Tire tracks, witnesses, and Sharon's history of impulsive behavior. All of it pointed to her guilt. But Phyllis knew better now. Someone else was behind the wheel that day, and their intent wasn't an accident. It was murder. A mission of redemption. Driven by a sense of responsibility and justice, Phyllis decided she couldn't let Sharon rot in jail for a crime she didn't commit. Despite their past differences, Phyllis recognized Sharon's sincerity. "I owe her this," Phyllis murmured to herself as she stared out the window of her apartment. "If I don't fight for her, no one will." The first person she turned to was Michael Baldwin, an attorney with a sharp mind and an even sharper moral compass. Michael had always been a reliable ally in times of crisis. When Phyllis laid out her fragmented memories and suspicions, he didn't hesitate. "If you're right about this," Michael said, his voice steady and resolute, "then we're dealing with someone who's not just reckless, they're calculated." Together, they began to unravel the tangled web of deceit surrounding the accident. Phyllis's memories, though incomplete, provided crucial details. The white car, the sharp turn, the unmistakable feeling that the driver had aimed straight for her. It wasn't random. Someone had tried to kill her, and they had framed Sharon to cover their tracks. Sharon's struggle. Meanwhile, Sharon languished in jail, her spirit wavering under the weight of the accusations. She had tried to explain herself over and over again, but the walls seemed to close in tighter with every passing day. "I wasn't there," she insisted during yet another interrogation. "I didn't drive that car. Why won't anyone believe me?" Her only glimmer of hope came in the form of Phyllis's unexpected visit. Sharon's eyes widened in disbelief when Phyllis walked into the visitation room. "What are you doing here?" she asked, her voice tinged with suspicion and relief. Phyllis leaned in, her tone urgent. "I know you didn't do it. Someone set you up, and I'm going to prove it." For the first time in weeks, Sharon felt a flicker of hope. If anyone could expose the truth, it was Phyllis. Despite their complicated history, Sharon knew Phyllis was relentless when it came to uncovering injustice. The hidden players. As Phyllis and Michael dug deeper, a sinister plot began to surface. Ian Ward, a master manipulator with a history of deceit, and Jordan, his cunning accomplice, emerged as the shadowy figures behind the accident. They had orchestrated the crash with chilling precision, ensuring that all evidence pointed to Sharon. Ian's motives were layered with greed and revenge, while Jordan served as the perfect partner in crime, calm, collected, and utterly ruthless. Together, they had crafted an airtight alibi and planted enough evidence to misdirect the investigation. Their plan was flawless, at least on the surface, but they hadn't counted on Phyllis. Phyllis's strategy. Phyllis knew she couldn't outmaneuver Ian and Jordan with brute force. They were too smart for that. Instead, she relied on her instincts and her emotional intelligence. She played to their weaknesses, probing for cracks in their armor. With Michael's help, she began to gather evidence, bank transactions, surveillance footage, and witness testimonies that had been conveniently overlooked. One of the biggest breakthroughs came when Phyllis tracked down a witness who had seen the white car speeding away from the scene. The witness, a reluctant mechanic named Greg, had initially refused to speak up, fearing retribution, but Phyllis's determination won him over. "You don't know what you're up against," Greg warned her. "These people don't play fair." Phyllis smiled, her confidence unshaken. "Neither do I." The final confrontation. The confrontation came to a head during Sharon's court hearing. Michael presented the new evidence with dramatic flair, unraveling Ian and Jordan's scheme piece by piece. The courtroom buzzed with tension as Greg took the stand, his testimony painting a vivid picture of the white car and its erratic driver. Ian and Jordan, seated at the back of the room, exchanged uneasy glances. Their perfect plan was unraveling before their eyes. And then came the bombshell, a grainy but unmistakable video showing Ian exiting the white car just hours after the accident. The judge's gavel slammed down. "Case dismissed," she declared, her voice firm. Sharon was free. Justice and redemption. As Sharon stepped out of the courthouse, the weight of injustice finally lifted from her shoulders. She turned to Phyllis, gratitude shining in her eyes. "I don't know how to thank you," Sharon said, her voice thick with emotion. What? Phyllis shrugged, a faint smile playing on her lips. "Let's just say we're even." For Phyllis, the journey had been more than just a fight for justice. It had been a chance to confront her own fears and rediscover her strength. And as Ian and Jordan were led away in handcuffs, she knew one thing for certain. The truth always finds a way to shine through, no matter how deep the darkness.